Do you want to do the intros, Jace?
Okay. Well, howdy, partners, and welcome to the GBG bonus episode. Today we're covering Wild Wild West, 1999 with Will Smith. We've got your partner, Jace, and
I'm your esteemed partner, Denali.
howdy, partner.
Well, welcome to our show, folks. We're so happy to have you here. Ryan, unfortunately, is out this week. He's attending a wedding in Reno, close to where this movie takes place.
Oh.
And congratulations on your wedding.
I'm going.
I don't know what he's doing over there. He's going to one of them. And look, we chose this movie this week. We probably should settle this on air, Jace. So, do you not love the Wild Wild West? We've been talking about this before in previous episodes. We reached a dilemma over text where we realized that we thought the other person was obsessed with Wild Wild West.
I don't want to spoil the discussion of this movie, but first, you're looking a little hot there, partner.
Yeah, I have to take off this
you gotta stay cool
this
in the
cowboy
desert,
blazer,
brother.
dude. I am burning up. It's 79 degrees in my apartment right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
about that.
spoiler free. Yeah.
I believe that I like Will Smith's music,
Okay.
and we'll leave it at that.
Because early on in the canon of our show, I believe we've mentioned Wild Wild West multiple times, and I think either you or I had a positive reaction, and I think it caused a feedback loop. It's like one of those things where your friend kind of mentions they like Pokemon, and you keep buying them Pokemon cards
For their
or
whole
something
life.
for their whole, and they're kind of like, oh, I thought that was your thing because you keep buying it for me, and like neither of you are actually into it.
Yeah, the song every time Wild Wild West comes up. Six brother running this buffalo soldier looketh like I told you.
Wait, you actually know the lyrics?
I think, again, I cannot say that it's because I like the movie.
Okay.
But I can say that I have a good majority of that song memorized.
This song, mind you, was a #1 hit when it came out. Okay, this shit was on the radio. And look, I actually do have somewhat of a history with this movie. It's not like my favorite movie. Okay, I'm not like obsessed with this movie, but I do have a history with, like, I remember when this came out, I was living in Korea. I saw this shit in theaters. I was like 5 years old. And then we rented it again from Blockbuster like the next year. So like that was like the extent of my viewings, like 25 years ago. And then I was pretty into it at the time. Like, I remember being at Burger King. I get the toys.
You were
like,
an American weeaboo. You were a
yeah. I was. Well, I was American.
Otaku.
Yeah. Like, I remember the Burger King promos for this. I would try to get all the Burger King Wild Wild West toys. Like, I think I had the Artemis Gordon bike and the Dr. Lovelace spider toy. So I was kind of Wild Wild West pilled as a child.
This is some interesting lore. Close to Bionicles, which, I don't know, it seems like you are the one that mentions it. Not me.
Okay, look. Former me. Yeah, I had a past where I was quite the head. And look, this movie, as we know, was heavily marketed when it came out. Right? This was supposed to be the tentpole release.
You're telling me that. Listen, I think I'm about to learn a little bit about Wild Wild West.
Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with the Wild Wild West lore. I don't want to turn this into a lecture. All right, but I'll tell you a little bit about.
I'll tell our fans that it got a $170 million pure gold budget in 1999.
Yeah, at the time, the most expensive movie ever made. Okay, so this was, Warner Bros. Was like, we're going to dump so much money into this. And they decided to make this their summer tentpole over another little-known movie that ended up bombing, which was The Iron Giant. They decided this movie was going to be the one. And I fucking love The Iron Giant. I think it might have been a better world if we had maybe given The Iron Giant the same chance here. My perspective of Wild Wild West, I thought this was well regarded. Like, I thought this was like on par with The Mummy. Like, people were like, yeah, The Mummy, Pirates of the Caribbean, Wild Wild West, great fucking adventure comedies. Like, it wasn't until like maybe 10 years ago I like Googled the movie and realized it has a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It gives off the energy of being somewhat of a cult film. I think if you saw it at our age.
Yeah. like a
when
cult
you
with
were-
no members.
Yes.
Like that's
like
kind of.
there's a memory of a cult that never quite existed.
Jace, are you look? You're wearing a cowboy hat. Are you a westerns guy at all? Or do you like westerns?
I don't think so. No, I wouldn't call myself a watcher of westerns. I think it falls into the same category of World War II movie.
Yeah.
That genre of dadcore
Yeah.
is not my forte.
Because you don't like. I know you've said this before on the podcast. You don't like historical movies that kind of take place like the dadcore 3-hour epics that take place during a real battle, like Appomattox, like that kind of shit.
Not my vibe.
And not me neither, honestly. And like I think the only western like I think we've seen on the podcast is maybe Old Yeller,
I would
which
agree.
was heavily panned by all three of us. All right, and that's considered one of the greatest movies. I don't know. Yeah, and it's wild to think that at one point westerns were the biggest genre. Like that was the Marvel movies of a whole generation. Like kids would be like, I wanna be a cowboy when they like. That is so not the vibe now.
It's interesting to me too, because I think now as we get further away from it and it's not in the wheelhouse of being popular, that we come to find that the historical period of cowboys in the Wild Wild West was very, very short. And we may have talked about it before, but it's like, it's fun to think about superheroes being real, but cowboy Western culture was like a decade or two. And then it was done.
Yeah, and look, and also there is a dark underbelly that kind of goes underneath the Western genre, and I think it gives a lot of people the ick. They're kind of like, oh, it's kind of fucked up. So, I mean, look, this is a dead genre, but it's interesting to dip my foot back into it to see. I think this is the towering titan of like I think the worst movie in the genre. Like I think if you ask anyone what's the worst Western ever made, it's like this and I think Stephen King's The Dark Tower.
Yeah, well, so
I
we've
think
seen two westerns.
We've seen The Dark Tower twice. Folks, go back to our Dark Tower episode. I think on par with our top 5 worst episodes we've ever recorded because we had to do that one twice. I think we had to re-record that entire review. And it's actually a shame, I think, watching this movie because, look, Ryan's not here to defend himself, okay? So I'm not. Look, Ryan, if you're listening, all right, you can shout at the speakers if you'd like. Mm-hmm. I think this movie is slightly Ryan coded. I think he might like this movie. Like, this might be complete fucking slander. He could probably sue me in court for saying this. Mm-hmm. But I think this is the type of movie Ryan might be like, actually, this is fun. Because he's liked movies, I think, that are critically panned, and he finds the good in them.
Yes.
like Geostorm. He's the defender of some of these movies. And I think had he seen this movie, and Ryan's entering this new cowboy era, I think with his cowboy hat, he's kind of interested in these different things. This might be hitting Ryan at a critical point, and I kind of regret doing this without him.
Yeah, I am a little disappointed. He's got a nice hat, and I'm kind of taking this away from him.
We're kind of taking the bit away from him. Ryan, if you're out there, please watch Wild Wild West and let us know what you think of this movie, because I wonder. And this could be complete fucking slander, and he might hate this movie.
Could be. So that's the fun part about him. Sometimes, you get one of those movies that you're like, this is dog ass. And then Ryan's like, well, let me tell you, I watched it at 2 p.m. yesterday after having 3 beers, one of them an IPA. And I fucking loved it.
And look, I've defended bad movies before as well on this podcast. Look, we're all guilty of this.
I think that's the great thing about having us specifically having 3 separate opinions, because watching a movie is wholly dependent about your attitude going into it, your attitude while watching it. It kind of takes the pressure off when you have all 3. If you give a really critical review of like a specific aspect of a movie, by the time it gets to me, I'm a little bit more free to maybe talk about what I liked about it. And I think maybe you and I shit on Geostorm before it got to him.
No, we did. Yeah, and he had to break the news to us. And let's speak on that, Jace, because is this your first watch of this movie?
I've definitely seen the Wild Wild West. I would put this at maybe my 4th or 5th watch.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Mind you, I'm going to say like 4th or 5th watch. The first. This is my first watch in probably 15 years.
Okay, that's less of a gap than me. What was your watching conditions? Was this your evening for watching Wild Wild West?
I sat down and I watched it last night.
Okay, yeah, I'm so sorry. This was my experience as well. When you set aside, I'm trying to like put my my headspace into like the theater goers at the time, where they're like, okay, like this is the tentpole release for Warner Bros. Will Smith is on the hot streak. All right, he made fucking was it Independence Day, Men in Black. Like he's like this is the movie to go to see. And then this is my evening. I'm going to spend like $20. I'm going to bring the whole family and watch this movie. And like, what is my headspace? And that headspace is fucking furious. No spoilers yet. Should we actually say the synopsis before we actually start talking about
I think we should. And I think we should start talking about the bits. All right, everybody. Buckle up. Put your boots on. Wild West. Wild West. Excuse me. Don't slander the name. Steampunk action comedy Western. Set in a post-Civil War America. Okay, very important. We've got two agents. Will Smith, who plays Jim West, who is a U.S. Army captain who works directly for the president. And Artemis Gordon, played by Kevin Kline, who is a U.S. Marshal and a master of disguise. Kind of the comedic relief in a way for me. Well, President Grant has hired Jim West and Artemis Gordon to stop the villainous Dr. Lovelace, who was a Southern leader in the Civil War who got his lower half blown off and kidnaps a bunch of scientists and is attempting to take over the United States of America.
Through the scientific method.
Yes, of building...
creating... giant spider.
A giant mechanical spider.
The natural weakness of America.
Mm-hmm.
If you describe this movie like that, I'm like, I want to see that movie. Like a steampunk action comedy starring Will Smith, and it's like a kind of a taking the piss out of Westerns a little bit, kind of like a fun thing with Kenneth Branagh playing like a evil, cartoony evil villain. I'm like, I think on paper this might work. Yeah. And I could see as like a studio executive being like, oh yeah, I'll give you like $200 million to make this movie.
Yeah. $200 million back then is a huge amount. Like, what is that with inflation today?
I think that's $200 trillion in today's movie.
And then they decide to slap a PG-13 on it, and somehow in the first 30 seconds show Will Smith's full dick and balls.
Okay, yeah, I do.
Why did you freeze frame it, man?
Look, I sent it to Jace. Okay, I needed to prove something. All right, because like I do have a story or experience about this particular scene. Because when we moved to Alaska when I was like 6 years old, one of the first movies we rented was Wild Wild West from Blockbuster. They got it on VHS. I don't know why my parents wanted a second run at this thing, but we rented it. And I remember there's that scene where Will Smith again gets up from the bath. Right, he kind of gets up. And there's a shot from behind, and my mom is like, pause the movie, and then like my dad's trying to like fiddle with the thing, and she's like, you could see his dick and balls, and like I'm like no, and then like my dad's like, I don't know, and then like mom's like, no, it's there, and then like I'm 6 years old, so I'm like, Mom, they wouldn't put that in the movie, like come on, they can't do that, and then she's like, no, and so they spend like both my parents have been like probably drank like 4 glasses of wine at this point, so they're like kind of like stumbling with the VHS thing, trying to go back and forth, trying to get the exact frame. And then I remember my mom gets it, and she's like, I fucking told you, right there, boom! And sure enough, it's like there's not even a sock on that thing. Like
it's hanging out in the wind.
Like you can see the dick and the balls from behind.
That's straight out of the bottom of the carriage.
Yeah, and I repeated the practice with Amber this time, and we managed to find the scene again. Amber's like, no fucking way. And I'm wondering, one, if it's a body double, valid, or they're like, there's no way someone's going to be able to pause this movie and see. It's not a big deal.
They were not ready for the technological advancements of film being readily available for $4 on 12 different streaming sites.
Yeah,
did you Google
wasn't
that?
Thinking,
there can be non-sexual nudity in PG-13, like nipples in Titanic and Avatar, and apparently hairy testicles and shrunken penis aren't sexy. Thank you, Max XXIX, whatever that is in Roman numerals on Reddit.
I didn't know there's nudity in Avatar. Yeah, look, all due respect to Will Smith, of course. Like I think it's not easy to get nude on camera. And I'm sure he's not expecting some jackasses like 25 years later trying to freeze frame the camera. And I don't know if you saw this, Jace, about Will Smith's decision to be on this, because he did.
I was going
you
to bring
probably
this
saw
up.
the lore. Yeah,
Mhm.
saw the lore. I think we mentioned this on the Matrix episode, but he like he kind of went all in on this movie. He was kind of a deadlock for the Matrix before this, from the Wachowskis. They were like, you got to be Neo, and he's like, no, I think I'm gonna do this other franchise that will hopefully blow up. And he considers it the biggest career fumble of his life.
Wholeheartedly disagree, because I think then The Matrix would have flopped, and Wild Wild West with Keanu Reeves would have.
What do you think it was all on? You think it was all Will Smith? Everything else was flawless in this movie.
he didn't have the staying power. No, if Keanu Reeves was in this, they would have done it completely differently.
I like how you think Keanu Reeves would have been the one to feed this. Sorry, Keanu. Try the other one. Whoa, a giant spider. Whoa. Wait, actually, I don't know. Maybe this was, I don't know. Who knows? It's someone else who was going to be also, was it Captain West, or wasn't John West? Jim West?
Jim West.
Tom Cruise was originally going to be Jim West as well. He was also kind of like a deadlock for the role and backed out to do another reboot franchise called Mission Impossible. I don't know if you've ever heard, like, I don't know if that was a good decision or not. Who knows where that went?
I've heard from multiple people to go see
Yeah.
Mission Impossible 8 in theaters.
Did you hear that from Tom Cruise, who's been saying that a lot?
Yeah,
go see
he
it
did.
in a
He
theater.
sent me a letter.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Haven't seen them. Haven't seen those movies. Heard they're fun. Again, this is another Ryan probably screaming at the speaker.
Yeah, why? You know, I mean, he had it within his
Yeah.
power to make us watch.
I think in some way, Will Smith was kind of like a sacrificial lamb, unfortunately, to allow two incredible movies to be made. But he's fine. He ended up recovering. I think Will Smith's star power, you know, because after this, he continued to make bangers, and he's like still the biggest star ever, and he won a fucking Oscar.
Did he? What did he win? What did he win his Oscar for?
That was the tennis movie, the King Richard.
Yes, I'm not sure the name. I know what movie you're talking about, though.
Yeah, dude, I think he was in fucking Aladdin, Bad Boys. Like, this dude's I, Robot, a Will Smith movie I fucking defend, and I think that's a good movie. But yeah, like, a lot of people were banking on this thing. And I don't know about you, but like, it's been a long time since I've seen this. I remember every frame of this movie. Like, this thing is like imprinted on my memory. Like, there's so much shit I've forgotten that I wish I remember. But like, as soon as they're having sex in the water tower, I'm like, I know this whole fucking movie front to back. Yeah, like
Yes. What a strange opening. I mean,
having sex in a water, like, kind of a faux pas. The town's water supply.
yeah. The
You would
first
think the fluids,
10 minutes of this movie, I texted you, I messaged you, and I want to know what emotions you experienced. But you go from, we've talked about this, the faux pas, I guess, or the theme of movies having these 10-minute long intros
Yes.
back in the day because they wanted to front load everyone seeing who produced and starred and filmed the movie. And, you know, they excise like 20 minutes of B-roll by putting it in the background of this intro. But you go from that to seeing a man's head get cut off to seeing bare ass in a water tower with Will Smith making love to a person to the most disgusting scene I've seen in a movie in the last 2 years, I think.
Was it the ear draining?
Yeah.
The ear drains? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It was, they're hitting you with a lot of things that I think challenge the viewer. I think the head cutting off scene was cool. I was like, once the razor's going through, I was kind of like, oh, is this going to be like kind of a fun movie? Like, is this going to be like something where I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to defend this? Yeah, but the sex in the water tower thing, is that like a thing in like, why is he in the water? Can you get access?
Why is it set up that way too? There's a bed in there. I think there was a dresser.
Does he live in there? Like, there was
that might be his
there was
home.
like furniture in there.
He did say that he was there for a week and he was waiting for him. So he might have been staking out in the water tower.
Oh my God. But this is the public health issue of having probably, I mean, he's been there for a week, probably had multiple sexual encounters in that water tower.
True. Respect.
Respect.
I mean, half the town has syphilis, right? So
look, yeah, I think this guy's cool. I think this guy's actually cool. And look, like, I think I like the aesthetics of this movie. his outfit is cool. I think modern, all blacked out leather. I think it looks fucking cool.
Was it leather?
I think it was all leather. It's like leather outfit. He had a leather jacket. It's kind of like a 90s chic.
I
like
missed. I didn't recall considering. I did like that the suit jacket at the top was crop. Yeah,
it looked cool, dude. I think this movie hasn't lost me yet at this point. Like I'm still in for like the first, I think 15
I would agree.
minutes.
I would agree.
I think I'm still in. Even the slightly problematic Kevin Kline in drag like scene where he's showing up, like I'm still kind of on board because I think some of the bits are funny. Like like where he's what was it? Like where like some guy comes up to him and he's like, "Oh my god, like that's my lady," and then he gets like shot by the other guy or something. Like, and Kevin Kline, I think he's an undercover agent at this point, and he's like being undressed, and he has these like hypno boobs where he's like these things are spinning.
Stare into the hypno boobs. You're a bad doggy. Honestly, probably top 5 bits in the movie is them having the weird, freaky tube horn ear guy barking mad like a dog.
And I'm still in. It's still working for me because I'm like kind of like this movie is camp. And I know like you probably saw I don't know if you saw the IMDb fucking trivia and shit, but they extensively rewrote this movie to be like this. Apparently, their first run of this movie, filmed all the way through, was played straight. This was like an action movie. There was not really any comedy, and they said test audiences were kind of like, is this supposed to be funny? Like, this is kind of ridiculous. It needs to have something more. So they panicked. They got all of the cast back together and reshot a ton of shit, and they had like a bunch of writers quickly insert jokes into this movie to try to make it funny.
That is okay. That makes a lot of sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense because when the comedy is bad in this movie, it is atrociously
really
bad.
Yeah.
And I think given enough time, I feel like if they cooked the comedy longer, I think this would have really worked, as evidence in the first couple of things of this scene. But yeah, I don't know. Like after this scene, I think when the premise is set up, I think it like starts fucking falling apart. Like,
I would agree. I think they had, with what you described just now, I would say that I thought that a majority of the comedy in like the first third were the better jokes, or maybe it just hadn't worn me down yet to be like, oh, I know what to expect, but a lot of it falls flat. What I did like after they kind of get back and meet with the president and they're sent after Dr. Lovelace is there's a fun amount of contraptions that
I like the inventions.
Yeah, that are the reason that people call this steampunk. And Kevin Kline is, I guess, a mad inventor for the president, and he's designed the president's steam car 5 that they take on the way to Utah, and not a single thing in that car is usable. It's usable as a sneaky invention, but it's not usable in any normal regard. Like
it seems like everything flips you to go outside. Like there's not a safe seat.
Or puts you inside if you are outside. It's a very confusing.
Yeah, every corner or object in there is supposed to swap you from like being outside of the car or being back in. Like it bounces you back in, and people are bouncing in even when there's no like way for them to bounce back in. Like you don't understand. That's like the other thing is that they built every single contraption you see in here.
What?
Because you look at it, they're interacting with these things. These are actual objects that they have. Like even the giant penny farthing super bicycle he creates. There's even portions of the giant spider where you could see they built the fucking leg for the thing. Like they blew so much money. And it's kind of like watching someone just stand in front of a camera and just burn a pile of money, like the Joker style, right in front of you. It's almost insulting to see how much money they spent on this thing. I'm going through my notes for this movie. None of this shit makes sense. Like this movie, I think after the setup where they're like Kevin Kline, Will Smith, you got to team up. We got to stop this guy who's collecting scientists. It becomes kind of like a sketch comedy movie where there's just a series of scenes that come right after another. I think that are completely nonsensical, that don't really serve anything until you get to the giant spider fight.
It's really, to me, I mean, I feel like the first 20 minutes is kind of memorable, and then after we say that, they meet up in that train, I don't even know there's the fun scene with the head, You know,
The head
okay,
scene.
I will do.
Yeah,
I
okay.
will say that I appreciate at some level how willing they were to stick with their plot and the ideas that they made up for the film. So
Yeah.
the scene, the head that we see get cut off at the beginning of the movie comes back, and Kevin Kline has it hooked up to a machine, and he's like, "Well, there's a theory that the last image you see before you die is burned in the back of your retinas." And
It's an insane thing to say.
and I think this is the comedy aspect of it is like they have Will Smith sitting in the scene, and they're like, "You're just gonna say that's a man's head 5 times, and you're gonna get a little bit crazier every time you say it because he's gonna be ignoring the fact that it's a man's head." But they shoot 2 lights, light beams through the man's head to see an image, and then they flip it around. Will Smith is like glasses, and they put glasses on, and the picture gets clear. And maybe that's one of those scenes where they were like, we should reshoot that, just filming Will Smith saying that's a man's head to add the comedy aspect to it. Because I think that scene would have been better if they were just committing to, their in-world lore. Yeah, plain and straight.
Yeah, dude, I think you're actually right. Because I'm trying to think about when because it's just a face shot where he's like, that's a man's head. Mm-hmm. And it's the comedy, I think, obviously doesn't work in the scene. Yeah, if they committed to this shit, like you're saying, I feel like that would have fucking worked. Because as a kid watching that scene, I thought that was genius. Like, that blew my fucking mind. I was like, whoa, turn the head upside down. Whoa. And then he's like, wait, the glasses. That's why it's blurry and it's all clear. I'm like, oh my God, this movie's so smart.
Cool set, too. Cool set in that scene. And then, like, really cool gadgetry to see the head turn around. And, yeah, kind of ruined by what they tried to make the joke.
Yeah, and I'll say it right now. We're in an era of probably, shitty Snyder cuts that probably shouldn't happen. But I think there is a cut of Wild Wild West that is good. I'm going to say that. I think you can cut it, like, because they filmed, like a lot of B-roll for this movie. Mm-hmm. I think you can cut shit in and out and create a good version of this movie. Because there are moments that work in this thing. Okay, I want to see a Snyder cut of Wild Wild West. The villain in this movie, we haven't talked about too much, played by Kenneth Branagh. I think horrible American accent. He's kind of taking the piss out of himself for doing this. He kind of loses the accent a couple times. I think the bit about him where he's like he was cut in half and somehow lived and is like hooked up to a bunch of steam. I think that's kind of cool. Like he's got like a smokestack behind him and it's like keeping him alive. And he's like, oh, and he's like a former, Confederate whatever officer / like rich dude.
Supposed to be like, I feel like the leader. I feel like he would have been like top brass, top 3 in the Confederacy based on a speech that he gave.
Yeah. And I think that's an interesting character. Like he's like a wacky evil scientist who's trying to like win back the Civil War that has already ended. And he's like creating these giant steampunk machines and shit. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of on board. He's like, he gives these really bizarre, colorful performances. There's a scene where he's ready to execute the main characters, and one of the main characters dresses like fucking, like, it's like Bugs Bunny, where he dresses in drag to distract him, and he's completely distracted.
I forgot about that.
Like,
he's like, oh, a new girl.
He's like, well, la-ti-da.
And it is better when your villains have a weakness. And his is sexy women.
This dude is the horniest man alive. Like, he's like in front of an audience, too. And there is not one moment when the sexy lady appears where he's like, wait, I should probably finish this first. He's like, well, let's see where this is going. And then Will Smith is like hip thrusting towards Kevin Kline, like obviously doing something to him. He's like, well, let's see. Hold on, guard. Let's see where this is going.
It's my mortal enemy, but I do like what she's doing with him.
Go on, lady who has just shown up and I have never seen before in my life. And I was like, I think that moment I was like, I like this character.
I think it was like a really grand plan. Like I described him in the beginning of this as, trying to take over the United States, but he's got members from like 4 separate countries, and his major plan is to separate America and sell it back to a portion of Mexico, a portion to the Great Britain, a portion to France or Spain, and then and then I did like his joke, and he's like, ain't a good plot of land for me to retire on.
Yeah.
Which included, a portion of the Pacific Northwest.
It's a good plan. I think Yeah. I think it's like, he's getting these European countries who are jealous of the United States, and they're gonna give him money and soldiers to fight this war against the U.S. Civil War Part 2.
Yeah. Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Steampunk. Steam Boogaloo.
And you think this would work? Like, you think Giant Spider? You think like Giant Spider versus 1868 U.S. military?
Wow.
Do you think it could do it? It could go the distance
without Kevin Kline having accidentally spent a night in the desert and seeing a wasp kill a tarantula, the U.S. would have crumbled.
Yeah, he sees a wasp and he's like, wait, flight is a thing.
Not yet, it wasn't yet, but could be.
All it took was one guy being like, flying would be probably advantageous in a combat situation. And he, Amber and I were talking about this like while it was happening, where he's like, wait, hang on a sec. I think I could create a flying machine, and like the spider is already on his way to the president. So he's got like, I think, a good 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Will Smith's like, can you make the world's first flying machine right now with like bed sheets? And he's like, yeah. And he fucking makes it. He makes the first airplane.
Yeah.
And honestly,
fuck
it didn't
Kill
do
Devil
much.
Hills.
What's that?
I said fuck Kill Devil Hills, which is Kitty Hawk, which is where the first flight took place.
Fuck those guys. They ripped this movie off.
Yeah, they did. Bastards.
The airplane also didn't really do anything. Because didn't it crash immediately? And they
got
like
2 bombs off on it, and then otherwise they were just kind of like flying around going, yippee!
Yeah, it didn't offer any advantage. The bombs also were completely ineffective because they didn't do anything to the spider.
Yeah.
And then they get immediately shot down, like which is what probably would happen if you're on like a bicycle plane. And then they fall. I guess it gets them on the spider, but I feel like they could have just climbed up. Honestly, fuck, dude, this shit.
We've skipped over so much.
So much. This movie's only like 90 minutes, but I felt like it was like 3 hours. Like I think the runtime. I guess I'm skipping over shit because it's just like fuck, man. We can go over it. It's just I'm just like fuck. I will say that the magnet scene, the head magnet scene. I think that was the second. Okay, next to Will Smith's balls, giant spider. I think this is like the most memorable scene for me as a kid growing up. They get captured, and in typical evil villain style, the guy's like, I'm not gonna kill these guys. I'm gonna do something really fucking wicked to these guys. They put him in like what is it, like it's like a magnetic fence or something?
He put some copper wire.
Okay,
it's a circular copper fence stopping whatever, containing the magnetism of the collars that they're in to stop.
Yeah. So they step outside the fence, and then these 2 blades just deploy from the.
There's a phallic
pump machine.
there's a phallic pumping saw blade shooting machine that was the subject of a joke, not 30 seconds prior.
So Jace, as our resident engineer on the podcast, would this work? Like, so they're like running away from the saw blades, and the saw blades are magnetized. To them, and they're running through a cornfield, and the saw blades can't stop. Would this? Do you think this would work IRL?
Mm-hmm. As I understand it, magnetism is magic. So, rock with energy, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think you're stopping that.
Because at a certain point, they dodge the magnet, they dodge the saw blade, but then it comes back.
Yeah, it does a full circle. It's very aerodynamic.
And there's no way to stop that, right? There's no way to like a fence like that too. Would stop it in real life, like a magnetic fence?
Oh yeah, that tiny little copper wire is kind of projecting a magical magnetic force field that's stopping the blades from activating. So really, they found out the only way to break them, which is to jump into a pit at the perfect time, opposite of each other, and then later on they get connected at the neck.
Yeah, there's that fucking Three Stooges bit with. I think that went too long.
I thought that was. I would agree that it went too long. I did think at the towards the end that was one of the funnier bits for me.
Yeah, it was.
Them running, the boot knife getting stuck to the neck.
Yeah.
The collar getting stuck to the crotch essentially with the belt buckle.
Yeah, that was a funny. I think that had to be a reshoot, because if they were playing this movie straight,
no way that was happening.
They would almost say that movie.
I just can't imagine them thinking that them running through that cornfield was playing the movie straight, Like,
I think the whole cornfield sequence has to be in the comedy cut, right? Like, there's no fucking way. Also, like that can't work, right? Where they run away from each other, and then the magnets are so strong that they get pulled back like 100 feet, right?
no, I mean, they wouldn't have been able to separate in the first place. There are, mind you, I mean, some neodymium magnets are strong enough that, like, somebody at my work, we were trying to do a work project with magnets, so they bought some strong ones. He bought a magnet that's so strong it got stuck to his car door like 6 years ago, and you can't get it off. It'll probably be stuck there forever unless he puts a tremendous amount of effort.
Are you serious? He has a magnet permanently stuck to his car?
Pretty much, yeah.
How big is that? Is it like a giant, like, is it like a cartoon U-shaped magnet, or like a...
It's like a circular puck magnet.
Oh shit! You're holding your hands. It's like the size of a hockey puck.
It's
That's
pretty
actually
big.
huge.
I think it's like 2 inches in diameter. Yeah.
Wait, holy shit! That's so funny. Wait, couldn't that like ruin his like phone? Like, because it's attached to his where he's gonna be, right? Like isn't that?
I think it's far
like,
enough away that it's not messing with any other electronics. But yeah, reasonably.
That's incredible, dude. It's incredible you work at a job where you have like you fuck with magnets. Jesus Christ.
You can just buy them, you know? And apparently they decided they wanted to buy them.
God. Yeah. I used to be afraid of magnets for a while when I was in middle school. Our teacher, our science teacher at Teelan Middle School, shout out Mr. Shea, wherever you're at. He kind of told this like offhand joke, which I only realize now is a joke. But at the time where he was like, yeah, I love playing with magnets. And he was like talking to us kids, and he's like, but I play with them too much. The magnets have pulled the iron out of my red blood cells, and the doctor said I only have about 75 to 80 years left to live. And we all were kind of like, we all kind of gasped. Like no one, the joke kind of like, no one laughed.
That's a pretty good one.
And like, he kind of moved on because he just says like he's a really dry sense of humor, and he kind of moves on. And I remember for like a good like a long time, a little too long, as a kid, I was like, oh my god, like I should stay away. I shouldn't fuck with magnets too much. I don't want it to shorten my lifespan. And not thinking that like he's already like a 40-year-old man.
Oh, he'd be 120 when he died.
Yeah. So I mean, that's, and I even still like, even though I rationally know magnets can't hurt me, there is still like that little seedling in my head of being like, should I hold this too long?
Really strong ones are scary if they're like if you get two really big neodymium, or I think I might even be saying that wrong, but two really big strong ones together, they're also very brittle. So if they like you let go of them and they're strong enough and they hit each other, they will shatter apart.
Holy fuck.
And I don't know that they have to maintain some level of magnetism when they shatter apart, but I think they can send shit flying. So don't mess with really strong magnets.
Yeah, and you know, I grew up with magnet toys. You know, I know the stories. The kids eating one part and the other part is magnetic and it goes through their body. I've talked to numerous MRI techs who they all have a story about something happening in the MRI machine, a piece of metal that someone forgot about. A nipple ring, something in their pocket. Just things that will send it flying.
Would it rip out of you if you had it in your small intestine?
Dude, like MRIs are the magnet is so goddamn powerful. Yeah. Like there's you see pictures where someone leaves like a chair in the room, and the chair is like folded in half inside the MRI.
Ooh.
Yeah, so something like a piercing that would go flying in the MRI. What else is this movie? Fuck, dude. There's a chainmail scene.
Yeah,
cool.
Which I mean, he acted like chainmail had never existed, as if we didn't live through the Middle Ages.
And look, it stopped the bullet, and it also protected him from a 200-foot fall from the top of the spider all the way to the ground.
They fell off that thing a few times. They fell off the thing and they lived, and then one of the women fell off it and she died instantly.
Yeah, and why did they need the spider if they could fall off and go back up the spider multiple times and live? I do like the chainmail bit, though, where Kevin Kline's about to be executed. And they're like, shoot this. And he's like, don't worry, I'm wearing chainmail. And he's like, sir, may I have one request as a gentleman? Could you please shoot me in the heart where my love for this country lies? And he's like, shoot him in the head. And he's like, oh, fuck.
That is,
you know what I would have done?
What?
Would have jumped. They only got one. This is like a, the musket shoot. Like, dude, you jump.
Yeah.
It's going to take it's a 3-minute reload process. You fuck up the one shot, I think you'd be good.
They really did. Well, yeah. They just had such advanced weaponry. Like, they had machine turrets.
Yeah.
They would have
I
had to
think
have
this movie's...
barreling on those. Or rifling on the barrels. What?
Yeah, I think this movie's not accurate, dude. I think this movie's not historically accurate at all, actually. Like, I don't even think Will Smith was alive back then. Like, it's kind of crazy, man. Okay, so this movie, how does it end? Like, they have the giant spider, like we said. Will Smith kind of drops into like this fight arena. It's like they built into the center of the spider.
Yeah, and he fights the crazy like Mad Max Frankenstein boys.
Yeah, I like the concept of like when they're building this probably multi-billion-dollar spider thing. It's like, can we have like a fight room, like an arena where I keep a bunch of freaks with like mutants with like weapons and shit in the middle?
Well, one of them we're gonna put a spike through his head, and the other is gonna make a suit of metal with his skin put back over it.
Oh my god. Wait, so the guy with the spike through his head, is that guy going to have any sort of advantage in the fight for having the spike, or is that just going to be like an aesthetic thing?
Well, no, he is pretty dumb already, so I think just frightening.
Okay, just a bit of a psychological damage thing. The guy with the metal over his metal under his skin as well, is he going to have like some kind of glitch where he randomly dies in the middle of the fight for no reason?
Well, again, all of the people that we have to do this are quite stupid. So we just kind of hope he's strong enough to beat his enemy.
Yeah. Wait. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like, what did that guy? Did he just? I wasn't missing anything, right?
He got handed the wrench and then he fell off the spider, right?
Okay, he died for no reason.
What happened? Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, that one was also inserted because they said test audiences, they said they were kind of like getting a weird ick because they noticed that for the end fight, Will Smith and Kevin Kline are just beating up the guy's beauties, like who are just on the spiders. Like they beat up like 6 women. And then like they were like, could he like fight some thugs or something? It's kind of weird to like have this in the movie.
So they made Mr. Knife Hands, Knife Arms.
Yeah.
Wow.
How does he eat? That's like really, that's really inconvenient. That's like a really inconvenient mod.
I would not want that mod.
There's a lot of things, and he also wasn't that good at fighting.
No.
It's almost like you took a guy and you didn't really show him how to use the knives. Like Will Smith kind of
kicked
killed
his
him
ass
really fast. It was kind of like a sad. Well, Will Smith kills all those guys. Those poor victims of
poor people who have been
medical experiments.
Mind you, they were racists. So
that's true. That's true. Well, we don't know about those guys in the room though. I think they were trapped there, man.
I just kind of have this feeling that they signed up for it.
I mean, the knife hands guy didn't even verbalize that he was trying to attack Will Smith. Will Smith, I think, just assumed he was hostile because the knife guy was kind of just waving his hands around like, oh, maybe he was trying to be like, wait, no, hang on a sec,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The one time I was on public transport and someone was playing with a knife, I kind of assumed that they were hostile. So,
You probably heard. Did you hear about the spider thing about this movie?
I did not.
Okay, so I don't want to belabor this too long, but John Peters, he's like one of the producers of this movie. He has this thing that's shown up multiple times when people worked with him where he keeps trying to insert giant spiders into things. Kevin Smith has talked about in 97, he was writing a 5th potential Superman film, and one of John Peters' demands was like, you need to put a giant spider at the end of the movie that he fights. And Kevin Smith's like, what? No. And he's like, do it or I'm not making the movie. And then he's like, okay, fuck. And he makes it and it didn't go up. And then someone else, Neil Gaiman, the author, said he was making the show for The Sandman. And John Peters, again, was like, maybe there's a giant spider that shows up in the sand. And Neil Gaiman's like, no, well, I already wrote the book. There's no spider. And he's like, well, maybe you can make that happen. And so when all these people, like multiple people have said, giant spider needs to be in the movie from John Peters. And they saw this movie and he got the giant spider.
What a weird fixation.
I think that's like his, some people just have this thing where they need to see it in the movie.
I've got a signature. I've had it since I was 13 when I learned cursive. Okay. And sometimes my filmmaking signature is big ass spiders.
Big ass fucking spider. And all credit to John Peters. That I think is one of the most memorable parts of this movie. because I think giant tank wouldn't have worked. I think giant lizard. I think giant spider's fucking sick. Honestly, it kind of works in this movie.
I'd have to agree with you. I didn't know that about. Did you see Sandman?
I didn't see Sandman. Is it good?
It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The lead actor has a shape for film, I think.
A shape for film. What is he
like he has a very pronounced
cell?
he has very pronounced features that like.
Are you talking about Tom Sturridge, who plays Dream?
Yes.
Oh, he's a very handsome man.
And they do his hair like if you just click on the second picture of him as Dream.
Oh yeah, I like this hair. This is like Hot Topic 2008 hair. I like
absolutely.
this. Yeah, okay, I like this.
The show could have used a giant spider, so he was right in that regard.
I think he was right. Maybe he is actually right. Do you want to get into? You want to just fucking meter this thing?
Let's do it.
Because they did. We're not missing anything, right? They beat the giant spider.
We didn't talk about Salma Hayek at all, but
Holy
I don't know that
fuck.
that's even worth
there's
mentioning.
so much. Yeah, Salma Hayek was underutilized in its terrible fucking portion of the movie.
They
the love
utilized
triangle.
her cleavage.
Yeah, I think that was like the only thing that they.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It was like
kind of.
And even she has said, she's like, I don't like this movie. It's not good. And then she had this bit about her father being actually her lover.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty gross. And then
it was her husband.
Dr. Lovelace, he dies, right?
Yeah,
I forgot about that portion.
He turns his lower half of his wheel his was steam powered
Okay, yes.
wheelchair into it's got that cool third wheel in the back that he uses for steering, whipping around. He turns that into a horse. I don't know that was a spider.
I think it's a spider, right?
Did it have 8 legs?
I think it's 4, but I think it's spider shaped.
Also a spider.
Yeah.
And then tries to beat the shit out. I don't remember how he dies, to be frank.
Oh, the way he dies, and look, all credit to them making that. I mean, like, yeah, the way he dies, I think he gets back into the wheelchair at some point after Will Smith fights phase 2 of the boss battle, and then the spider machine like tips. And the wheelchair slides backwards. He's like, whoa! And then he gets, him and Will Smith end up in a situation where they're both hanging on each other.
It loses its legs, and then he's hanging on him, yeah.
And then where he's like, I think this is a good portion of the movie where he's like, if I push this lever, the wheelchair will be dislodged, and it'll for sure kill you, but it'll kill me. And he's like, I'm caught in a dilemma of love for myself and hatred for you. I think that's a sick thing. And he's like, you won't fucking do it, Will Smith. You won't fucking do it. You don't have the stomach to do it. And then he does it, which, that's hard as fuck. Like, but Will Smith lives, and the guy, I think, falls in a canyon.
Yeah. To TBD on
I
his...
think
Yeah.
I think he's still alive, dude. I think
Wild West.
Yeah. Wild West.
Oh. Sure.
Yeah, I think with more wilds.
Wild West.
Oh, yeah. Wild West. Wild. Yeah, no body on the screen he didn't fucking die. I think he's gonna come back. I think his top half is also gonna be a spider. He's gonna have a top and bottom spider. He's gonna land face down, and it's gonna smush everything. But like, we still have the bottom. We can rebuild him. Rebuild the top.
That's just a robot.
Okay, now let's fucking do this. Do you want to do what kind of meter? What do you think?
I'm a little agnostic to it. What do you think?
A Western meter? A Westometer?
Westometer.
A Smithometer, like a Will Smith season.
Ooh.
A Spidometer, like a spider. If we were doing a season about giant spider fights.
I did.
Steampunkometer.
We don't hear the Wild Wild West song until the very end of this movie, which
that's true.
Which I did not realize. I do like that song.
Play it at the end of the movie, the end credits. That was back also when you would have an original song for the movie play during the credits, and everyone would like stay to listen to it. And do you remember like a music video showing at the end of the movie? Like they didn't do it on the version I watched, but do you remember that? Like I remember in the theater.
I have seen the music video, so they had the music video playing.
I remember watching the music video in a theater of Wild Wild West, and me and my like parents being like, "Oh shit, this is awesome! Whoa, this is so fun!" Like, and he's wearing the cowboy outfit, and they're doing the dance and shit. Apparently that. I think won a Razzie for Worst Original Song, which I think is a misfire.
What?
Because I think the song is good.
You said it topped the charts.
It got #1 on the charts.
How can you give a song that got #1 on the charts a Razzie?
Look, some #1s are bad.
Okay.
Like we do have to admit that.
That's fair.
But this song, I mean, it samples Stevie Wonder song, and it also I guess I heard the Wild Wild West, that part where he's like Wild Wild West, like the chorus. Apparently that is also sampled from another song. So they didn't actually make that up for the song. I think that might be the best part. So maybe they docked him on that.
I have to say I'm coming as a person who did Will Smith's Miami at karaoke 2 days ago. So
oh shit,
I fucking love that song. Is a bop.
You want to do a Will Smith-ometer for this?
Yeah.
How well does it represent Will Smith? Yeah.
Sure, you got to go first though.
Okay, I'll go first. Fine. Will Smith-ometer. Okay, I think this movie is not playing to his strengths. Okay, I think we all know Will Smith is good with comedic beats. He's on fucking Fresh Prince. He's got like the sitcom kind of like bouncy energy, and they're not playing to that in this movie. There's even portions where I think he's playing it too straight. I think if you're going to have a goofy movie, you need to kind of let him have a little more room. So I think this is not a good showcase. There's a famous quote from Will Smith where he asked his mom what she thought about the movie at the premiere, and her answer was, "You've done better," which I think is devastating. Yeah, he's not... I don't think this is actually a particularly good performance from him in this movie. He's a high charisma actor, and when that doesn't carry through, you have a serious fucking writing problem, directing problem. I feel like he was committed in this role. The dude made a motherfucking song for this movie, okay? That's a big swing. And when you get multiple Razzies for this thing, I mean, I think this thing swept the Razzies that year, and a lot of that had to do with Will Smith. Unfortunately, I think this is like probably his worst movie, probably his worst showcase at a time where I think he's like top movie star. This dude is like dominating the box office. With that said, I think the movie is unfortunately saved by a lot of his portions in this movie, and I think the song's fucking tight. I'm gonna give it a 3. He's in this a lot, okay?
Wow. Okay.
But it's a big problem. This movie's not working.
Damn. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm taking a look at this, right? And you're talking about him coming off The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is 1990-96. Mind you, I haven't watched the entirety of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Bad Boys in 95, Men in Black 97. You're right. At this point in time in his career, like, he's performed very, very well in movies. In Wild Wild West, I would agree. I feel like personally he did not. I don't think he had much range in the film. For me, I think if they had decided to play it straight or spent more time working on the comedy, and I think you said giving him a little bit more creative freedom in how he was going to perform that comedy, I think there was too much of they were relying on him to be the, as his co-part would say, the stupid one who would charge headfirst into things. And then it didn't really, I feel like, give him much room to provide the level of comedy that I would be looking for out of Will Smith. I think he was sexy. I think they gave him that, yeah. Like, I think he's looking good. They're putting him in really hot outfits. He is commanding the camera for me when I'm watching this movie. But yeah, that's a tough one. I wasn't thinking about a meter. It is low. I would say it's got to be lower than a 5. I'm gonna go with a 4 as well.
Damn.
It's less than average for what I'm hoping for Will Smith.
It's a tough break for Will in this one. And you're right. Like, I think he is playing like a rogue in this movie. Like, if you're talking D&D terms, like high charisma. You know, he's talking his way out of situations, and I think when he plays into that, it's actually fun. But then they have these other scenes where he's not doing anything. He's not playing it comedically. He's not doing enough charisma, and it's just kind of flat. Mm-hmm. And I think where he's the rogue in this movie, it really fucking works.
Yeah.
I guess movie meter. Okay, dude. I'm thinking hard about this one. Okay, because it's not gonna be high, but is it a 0? I don't know.
I think it's gonna be. I was wondering about this while I was watching it.
Look, do I grade it on a curve? Because, like, is this a 10 in someone's eyes? Like, I wish Ryan were here.
I think
and
that would be
maybe this is like an 8.
I don't think that I could be friends with somebody that thinks this movie's a 10. I do not think that if you watch this in the 2020s that you could think, if you thought this movie was a 10, I think we would be we would have in fisticuffs.
Yeah, look, the sensibilities don't translate. And also, this is an insult to art in some ways. Look, like we said, like we already mentioned, I think there is a cut of this movie that is good. I think if you take certain portions of this movie, even if you watch portions of this movie on YouTube, you'd be like, oh, this looks like The Mummy. Like, people are having fun. It's ridiculous. I think this could work. But there were long sections in this movie where I was bored. If you have a movie that's wacky, it's a steampunk comedy that takes place in the Old West, and you're fucking bored, what are you doing with the camera? And, Amber asked multiple times in the movie, she's like, how much left? And I would pause the movie, and it would be like 45 minutes.
It's been 10 minutes.
It's been, yeah, and so that's a huge problem in the movie. You already have like a pretty good cast for this thing, and they have so much goddamn money, dude. They had so much money and time to make this fucking thing. They had all the resources in the world, and knowing they took it away from Iron Giant is creating a lot of anger inside of me. A movie that I love, that I think might be a 10, okay? So I'm going to take all of these emotions and try to be fair for this movie. So I'm going to give it a 1, okay? It's not a 0.
Wow.
But I'm too exhausted to give it any more credit because this movie sucked the life force out of me, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think I could watch this movie again. I think this is a failing on almost every level. This movie feels committed to death. It feels like 40 executives got together and just wanted to repiece this movie into a hit, and it doesn't fucking work. It's going to be a 1. I'll give it credit because I thought the intro was not bad.
Man, so much left unsaid. Truly. I'm going to give Wild Wild West an 8. The song, not the movie. I think the song could have been better.
Yeah, it could have been better.
The movie should have been much, much better.
What if the movie was just the music video?
Damn, an 8 is still. Yeah.
I think the music video actually represents the movie better than the movie.
Tony Loveless is a madman. I didn't know, and I still don't really know how to feel about some portions of the movie. I think it was interesting that this was set in like a post-Civil War America, and they were not shy about racists being racist towards Will Smith in no way. A sex dungeon with Salma Hayek in a cage. Yeah. How any of these things are related to the plot, I couldn't tell you.
You could actually take out so much.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm a little bit higher, but I think maybe for me, Wild Wild West is like a 3.
Whoa!
I don't see myself.
You love this movie
Compared to you, I guess. It could even be lower. I don't know that I would ever go back to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the movie. I watched it last night, and I can't remember half of the things that occurred. It's not lasting. I think if you take a critical eye to this movie that was made so long ago, you're going to come away just a little bit exasperated. Fuck it, I'll go low. I'll go with 2.
No, you can go 3. Don't be afraid to do 3.
No, because I really like the song Wild Wild West.
Okay, all right. Especially if you say to someone, I like that Wild Wild West 3 times more than you do, and it's still a 3. I'm trying to think, is this the worst? Would you say this is the worst movie we reviewed on the podcast? Or at least top 5?
I would say top 5. It's a strange. There are movies that have executed worse, and there are movies that have had much more problematic content that have teeter-tottered to also for me get a lower score. This is somehow I think in the middle ground of both of those things, and executing poorly and having some content that I'm not so well on, but they're kind of multiplicative.
Yeah, I'm thinking okay, we did watch Thanksgiving. Okay, that movie is worse, I think, in both regards. We watched Leprechaun 2, and I'm kind of I think Leprechaun 2 might be better.
I would rather watch Leprechaun 2 again, I think, than this movie.
Yeah. I'm looking at 47 Ronin. Now, that's actually a tough decision. If someone is holding up 2 DVDs at a party, and they're I'm so sorry you live in this house. They're I have 47 Ronin, I have Wild Wild West on DVD. Which one do you want to turn on for the party? I'm definitely picking Wild Wild West. Actually, 47 Ronin ends with extremely bleak ending that I think would kill the vibe of the party. I think I'm trying to look through any of it. I think this is easily top 5.
I would have to agree with you. Even the movies that I feel I know I would have rated low.
Would you watch Moonfall again over this?
Wow. I would probably. It's about even. I think just because there's some comedy in this, 4 laughs, I would pick Wild Wild West.
I think I would too. Look, this movie is listed usually on the top worst movies of all time. If you look on the Wikipedia page, they said this was on a famous list for worst movies of the 20th century. It lost only to Battlefield Earth. You ever see Battlefield Earth, Jace?
I don't think that I have. No.
I watched that twice in theaters, and I think
Whoa.
that movie is actually slightly better. It's a book
kinda
based on
sick.
based on an L. Ron Hubbard book, so it does have the bit of the Scientology touch to it. John Travolta as an alien with I believe Bill from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and it's like a post-apocalyptic alien invasion movie. I kind of want to rewatch this, maybe a bonus one day. It's not a comedy.
I don't know that I'd want to watch a movie that has this tonal imaging as a comedy.
Well, there you have it, folks.
This might be top 3. This could be like top 3 worst movies.
In the GBGBs canon.
Yeah.
Look, Ryan at home, please watch this movie and just let us know what you think, dude. I want to know what you. I'm sorry if I said to everybody that I think you would like this movie. Maybe that's the worst thing I've ever said about you, Ryan. But but if you do like it, maybe it's no big deal then. But thanks so much for joining us this week, folks, and thanks for watching Wild Wild West. If you're out there and you spent your God-given time doing that, and spending more of your God-given time listening to our podcast, we appreciate you.
I'm taking it off.
Take off the cowboy hat, Jace.
Oh, wow. Hey, guys.
Oh, was it like The Mask where
How's it
you
going?
take it off and you're
Denali?
like, hey, Jace.
Do you want to review
Wow.
Wild Wild West?
No, we already did the review.
We did.
We did the whole thing.
Why is my cowboy hat right here?
Wait a second.
Oh, no.
The cowboy, you just reviewed it like pretty professionally. Actually, he did actually a pretty good job.
Would you have him back?
Maybe for another episode. Yeah, maybe for in the right circumstance.
Okay. Well,
I'd have him back. I think he brought a nice color commentary to the thing. I'm sorry you didn't get to review Wild Wild West though. Like you kind of just watched.
You
the
gave it
movie
a good
then, right?
score, right?
Well, I gave it a 1. Actually, I didn't really like the movie. I think your cowboy also didn't really like it either.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's too bad. You can't really share your opinion about Wild Wild West, your real one.
I'll do it with Ryan.
Yeah, we'll do. You can do a bonus with Ryan, and maybe I'll wear a cowboy hat, and then we can do another.
Ooh.
But Ryan, welcome back. You're probably 6 months from now. You'll be listening to this episode. Glad to have you back. I hope we record many good episodes together since then. But folks, let us know if you ever want us to watch a bonus. Look, there's a lot of things happening while the cat season's going on.
That is
you
true.
know, we might want to pad it with some bonus episodes. We'd love to hear from you. Jace, do you want to leave our audience with like maybe like a cowboy word of wisdom?
A 2-person?
A 2-person popcorn.
Is your
cowboy.
hat? Do you still have your hat?
It's kind of this. I think this is honestly more of a fedora. Like a.
Yeah, that's okay.
I look like I'm like a rich East Coaster visiting like Utah. I'm like, oh my, oh wow, it's so dirty here.
I think this is the still for the image right here.
Yeah.
You've
Just
strolled
in
to
the
wrong
Buffalo
ranch.
partner.
Giddy up.
Please.
You
Rotten,
stanky,
disease-ridden,
porcupine licking
shit-encrusted.
bastard.
So,
Get
your
scrumptious
gravy-licking
ass
on
my
tanned
hot tub. Why are you doing
so
this to
hot.
me?
So hot.